Today we are playing some European Universal. We're going to be playing as Poland. And I think within these next 5 years, I want to kind of, get Poland more as a bigger empire over here and stuff, and just kind of relatively in the east. Because after all, we will be taking on the Ottomans, because the Ottomans are going to be starting to try to come up through Europe into those periods, and we're also just going to relatively be destroyed on. So yeah. But our first goal is going to be just kind of get our nation set up and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be back in a second after our nation is kind of... It is July 18th, 1446, and we're going to go to war with Lithuania, our closest ally of them all. The only reason, though, is because they're so big, and we don't want no country that actually big near us. But we got the war declared on them, and it looks like, it doesn't look like anybody joined them up in the war besides back here, and I guess right up there. But I don't think they're going to be much of a threat to me. And I'm going to basically just move my army through here and hope that... I don't know how big their forces are in this nation either. So who knows? But we'll see. Boys, we're basically going to just get thrown into peace negotiations. I don't care about that last country saying that they're an island nation and we don't have any boats yet, or access to even make boats yet. But I want to first basically just kind of start off by taking this upper part of Lithuania, because I feel like that upper part might be my most valuable, because it has so many forts in it that it would give me great opportunity to defend. Actually, not. Honestly, I'm not sure I have the economical parts of this, honestly. So let me just remove most of my claims off of this area. Let's move in through, just kind of through out here. I would much rather be able to hit the east parts of the world also, because I want to be able to move my invasion force if I want to through there. If you guys want to see more of this series come along, we can, but the whole entire point of this video is by 1449, we're probably going to be moving down closer to the Ottomans to invade them. So yeah. But Lithuania is now going to be looking a lot motherfucking weaker. Bam. And yeah. Now look at that. Poland is now seen as actually somewhat of a major power in Europe. Because, well, more of the Eastern Europe part, because the Great Hordes would probably fear my forces at this point after hearing what just happened to Lithuania and all that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, we did pretty good. So, I think for this idea here, we're going to basically march through Hungary, Wallace, Siberia here, and we're probably going to take more of these areas here, and then we're going to go on a full invasion spree of the Ottomans and try to beat the Ottomans with these armies here. I don't know if we're going to build up any more armies, just because I don't know if we're going to have the time, resources, or anything else like that to do so. But also, though, we could get attacked from other countries, so keep that in mind. This could go really bad, really fast, saying that most of my armies are going to be committed to heading downward and not really defending. I mean, we have 10k troops over here to just defend my eastern front, because that's where I'm really worried about is over this way. But I don't know if I have too much to worry about on that part. My economy's going good, my manpower, everything else is going pretty okayly. We're still making the cores after the war with Lithuania. But, I mean, honestly, I don't think anything else could go really wrong besides, revolutions or these guys going to war. I think my armies are strong enough to go off and do this. So, yeah. Time to make some peace. And I think for our first thing we're going to do is kind of just trample over these guys. I don't really want to split their country in half, though, so... Let me remove this. Let me just... Boom. Yeah. Now that brings me downwards closer to the east, which has kind of been my goal. But, dude, that makes my country so much weirder looking, and it kind of makes it a lot more vulnerable to an invasion. So I think instead we're going to actually just take over these ways stuff. Kind of just push them out of the region here. So, yeah. I think this is how we're going to probably make the peace offer. Is sort of like this, where it kind of just brings Poland. I don't know if we're going to go that far that way. Let's make it like that. So then that more gives us structure to Poland, at least, instead of having this really long line that is bordered with like a huge amount of nations that are quite strong. This just puts me where I kind of want to be at more. And just like that, Hungary has been defeated, and Hungary is not really even a major power anymore, I would have to say, because they lost so many men in that war that really even sit there and say that they're a major power is kind of hard to sit there and say that, because they lost like a full-on army of just thousands of men, like 45,000 men they lost or something like that. It was crazy. But I'm gonna basically move now my forces back onto these borders here, which this is also Siberia. What is this? Wallace? Okay. And yeah, so we're going to go to war with the Ottomans now. Just kind of showing that we have some type of superiority here. But as you guys can obviously see, the Ottomans are quite a bit of a big force. And though this is more for the Holy Wars and stuff like that, which will basically bring Poland probably great power if they actually win these. But I don't know. I don't know if we're actually strong enough to actually take on the Ottoman Empire yet. But we do actually have some backup forces like up here and up these ways, just to kind of, keep some type of defense around. But yeah, I think the Ottomans are actually making landings on my allies who are invading down here. But we have basically squeezed the Ottomans down here with a huge amount of force, so they don't really have any other choice but to do that. I'm just kind of get my forces to split up so they can probably try to take me out. But we're going to basically just try to take on all these forces. But basically, we cannot really get any farther through the Ottomans, but we will be making a peace treaty with them, which is basically just going to give us this part. Okay, well, they're not going to accept that. That's odd. That's odd, Ottomans. Isn't it? I'm going to actually sit here and build boats off this coast here, amigo. But that's exactly what we're going to start doing, so we'll be back in a little bit. So in reality, though, we're going to make peace with like this, basically, where it kind of just forces the Ottomans to give me the land I need to start building up my navy. That's kind of what I need right now. But honestly, I think this is where we're going to end off the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. It's been quite a crazy run for Poland so far, and there's definitely going to be a part 2 to this. So stay tuned for that if you guys did enjoy this. I definitely did, and probably our next video is going to be us building up our navy, trying to form up our like more of a shape to our empire, because our empire is just kind of expanding out in all these ways, giving us huge amounts of territory we actually need to defend, and also with that a lot of borders. That's really where it comes down to it. Because honestly, if I could conquer like all the rest of Lithuania all the way up to here, they would just throw that eastern front onto me. And then obviously over here, there's just a lot of little nations that could just be honestly conquered, or just kind of have other countries just kind of do their conquering for us. But yeah, and honestly, that's about all I'm going to have to say about this. But I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.